All right, this is Rodney Ho with AJC.com. I'm here with Gabrielle Union, starring in Being Mary Jane, BET's new drama that debuts January 7th.
January 7th, 10 o'clock.
That's right. The pilot, or whatever you want to call it, the TV movie aired last July. Huge numbers.
Yeah.
It was shot here in Atlanta. Tell me a little bit about, what brought you to the table for this particular role, because it clearly...
The writing. Well, at first I fell in love with Salim and Mara, and Salim.
From the game, the creators of the game.
Salim is one of the directors, and he's married to Mara Brock-Akil, who created Girlfriends.
Power couple.
They're amazing, and I fell in love with them just being inspired by their love. And then they could have asked me to read the phone book, and I would have flown to Atlanta just to do that. But then I read the script, and I was like, I think I could be good at this. Like, I think this is in my wheelhouse, and it challenged, the role challenged me in a way that I was ready for.
Yeah, it's not a purely comedic role, it's not a purely dramatic role, it's just and she's not, a saint by any stretch, but she's got a lot of good things going for her.
Yeah, I mean, it's authentic. I mean, no one's, one thing,
Right.
No one's, always the good girl or always the villain. You're little bits of everything at any, given point in a day, and we explore that. It's brutally honest and incredibly raw and authentic. Portrait of a single working woman.
Yeah, I mean, you're not always nice to your family, but you're
not
often...
always nice to my family. I'm very resentful and angry that I've been put in this position of having to support grown people, which I think for a lot of people who have been raised in families that everyone got the same opportunities, everyone was given the same amount of love, and people, make different choices. And for those of us who have done better in life, you assume the responsibility of your siblings and sometimes their children and their children's children. And you become resentful of the fact that their love is conditional based on what you're giving or, how many times you say no. And it changes the family dynamic.
And over 8 episodes, I'm sure we'll get to, you interact with everybody in some...
Well, everyone gets to live.
Yes.
In the pilot, we introduced you to all the characters.
Yes.
And throughout the first season, each character gets to go on their own journey, and so you'll see...
You don't see all of them in a given hour, typically, right?
No. So there's certain episodes where you'll see my older brother who's battled substance abuse, whose daughters have had kids, and they're also living in the grandparents' house, and you see my younger brother who's dealing drugs, who also lives in the house. You see them go on their own journeys and how how it relates to how Mary Jane deals with those journeys. But everyone gets to live on their own.
That's fascinating. We get to see your work side too. Every episode is definitely focused a bit on your CNN-like network here. SCN is it called?
SNC.
SNC. What does that stand for anyway? In some weird way, I don't know.
Southern National.
Who knows?
I don't know.
But you do mention CNN on the show, which is based here in Atlanta.
It's like the CNN is like who you're chasing. We're like the 5th out of 5 networks struggling in the ratings, so everything we're doing is sort of like gimmicky or a ploy to boost ratings.
Right, I see you mentioned your rivals on occasion too, just more tongue-in-cheek, if anything. I noticed my friend Don Lemon was name-dropped in the first episode.
Yes, he is. Yeah, I mean, because we're all fans, and, I always talk about Soledad O'Brien, like, being her stalker.
Right.
But she's sort of the barometer, for black female journalists, black female journalists with integrity and compassion and that are well respected. Everyone's sort of looking, I was going to say I'm really like Gabrielle Union, Channel 5 News.
Oh, you can do it very well.
Now I can mimic.
Yeah. Can you read? You can read a teleprompter, right?
Easily, yes. Yes. I've mastered the art of teleprompter reading.
Well, in terms of, if people didn't catch the July film, I guess they'll probably show it right before the introduction, so people will
be caught up.
Will be caught up.
Yes.
But what's your feelings about the reaction? I mean, it was a very positive reaction afterwards. I'm sure you looked at the tweets. I mean, that's always very much an arbiter.
We set all kinds of records on social media. Our ratings, because everyone talks about, you did really, really well in the ratings, but we don't really specify that we didn't air until 10:30. The show didn't go off until midnight.
That's true.
There's no other show that can be held, to those same standards, because no other show airs at 10:30. No other movie, debuted at 10:30 and didn't finish until midnight, in the middle of the summer. So the numbers that we got are, record breaking. The fact that we grew in this, in the second half of the film.
You paid attention to this.
Oh, honey, I was on it. But yeah, I mean, it goes into our source of pride, We weren't surprised though. We were prepared because we knew we did good work. So for the series makes the pilot, look bad because it's so much better. It's so good. So if you love the pilot, you're gonna gag for the series.
But we only get 8 episodes. It's going to be a lot in.
Well, because it's cable. So
Yes.
I think with Downtown Abbey, their first season they started with 7 episodes.
Right.
So
Walking Dead only started with 6.
Yeah, so we tacked on a couple more, and then in the second season, it'll be longer.
Confident there, talking about second season. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well,
The people have spoken after the pilot. So.
well, good luck, Gabrielle, and we'll be looking forward to seeing the series Being Mary Jane, January 7th on BT.
And I'll be back in Atlanta.
All righty. Thanks.
Thank you.